terminal is still not showing stuff. Let's see. I will double check on the stream.
I think the stream is working now.
Yeah, it looks like it's showing. Yeah, I can see it again.
Okay.
All right, so I can
So
see
is that passing?
that is one thing that I have to check. Is the terminal is kind of toast here, so let's
Happens
make a new one.
all the time to me.
Yeah. Well. There we go. Okay.
I mean, I don't use the built-in terminal personally, but at work we do, and it just crashes all the time.
Yeah, I don't typically use the VS Code built in either. But I typically just run an iTerm, but for doing Rust, VS Code is a much better experience.
Oh, okay.
So alright. So empty in place. So I guess we have a pass. Here we have double in place. So
We need to test blast or something bigger.
we'll test single real quick.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it probably won't be that exciting, but
Probably not, unless we just.
okay. And then yeah, blast is our last.
Blast is our last. We might want to try some other tests to see, like one where the duplicate is right after. No, we've already got one where the duplicate is right after, and then we've got one where it's separated now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. That works. And there you go. We solved it in like the gut feel, and then also the in place.
So that dot skip,
Mm-hmm.
is it skipping I? Like, is it skipping I plus 1 and skipping I minus 1 all the way down to 0? Or is it only skipping I plus 1?
So it is skipping that many off of the front of it. So yeah, so it'll be from 0.
So it is.
Right.
Cool.
Yeah. So I mean, as I guess skip kind of says, I mean, we can see in their example. So if you have an iterator over this this vector, or I guess this array, then if you skip 2, then you should expect to get 3 as the next value, because it means skip both of these. If that makes sense.
I guess. Oh, the one thing we're not testing for is a duplicate where the character is not in the first value. If that makes any sense. Like if you go down to the blast example and just type some characters before the rocket.
Oh, I see. Yeah. So yeah. I'm trying to. Yeah. X.
C, D, E.
Q.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I see.
I never really doubted it.
But but I mean that is a good point to check though. I mean, and if I had the other one, or sorry, the other library testing thing, Rust has quick check that you can get for it. which is property testing,
Hmm.
which I think we didn't pull it in last time, but you can use it to assert kind of against a random set of test inputs, and
Yeah.
you have to have something that is like a proof that you can rely on. I mean, it's something that I did in the past with writing a sort algorithm. I was writing heap sort, and what I did is wrote heap sort, but then put it against Rust's built-in sort, which, I mean, I have a lot of faith in Rust sorting in order to be correct. Like, I can kind of assume it to be correct, and so I was able to say for any string input, whatever the output of Rust's built-in sort should match the same as what my heap sort is.
Yeah.
So
Cool. That's awesome.
yeah, that was kind of a nice usage of it. And in this case, we could do kind of the same thing with our two sets of uniques. Like, if we had greater confidence in one or something, I mean, it would at least, what we'd be able to verify with a property check is that both of these behave in the same way for any given set of inputs. So
I just realized that it's not actually in squared, is it? No, wait, yeah, it kind of is. It's like it's like in times in factorial. Is factorial the one where you're adding from 1 all the way up to the number?
you're adding,
No, it's a summation.
yeah,
It's like n times the summation from 1 to n.
right. But I believe that would fall back to
Yeah.
just being
I
squared.
wonder if there's a way to do it without any other data structures that's better than n squared.
So one other alternative that I tried was to go and actually sort the structure in place. So I gave myself like a mutable string slice.
Yeah.
And was able to go and sort the characters, and by doing that, like the tim sort that's built in is n log n, and so
Okay.
and then by doing that you have to iterate once more to so n log n, I guess, plus 1 and more, but
n log n plus n.
right, which the plus n is kind of a throw out in comparison to the other stuff. So
Yeah. Because
but
I was thinking about sorting it first, and then you have to just go through, and all you have to do is compare each character to the next.
right, yeah, I mean that's definitely a possibility.
You wouldn't have to sort it. You wouldn't have to have a mutable string. You could be creating a new string.
Right, but I mean at that point you're doing more allocations, and so like that's the tough part about it, is even actually doing the sort, like the built-in sort itself has the potential to allocate a structure that is half of the size, I think, is what Rust sort says. So like you don't really have control over it there. Like you can't say don't do an allocation. By default, it'll do an in place sort if it's a really small input.
Is he using any data structures besides
doing a sort?
Yeah.
Yeah, they'd be using something internally to go and capture like which ones are greater and which ones are lower. Like if it's falling back to, I don't even know like what their implementation looks like. All I know is that it's tim sort, which is a
Yeah.
very unique sort. Like I dig it. If
So
you
probably couldn't use Tim's sort then.
right, which so we'd have to come up with our own
Yeah, to
sort.
have a sorting algorithm that's like in log n.
Yeah, that's n log n and in place.
Yeah.
So I think actually heap sort might have been done that. I could be.
But doesn't that use a heap?
Well, you can do it on an existing structure. Like you can treat like if you have like an array, like you can treat it like a heap.
Or a string. You can use it as a heap
Yeah.
of characters.
Yeah. Hey, I'm actually gonna see if I can pull that open because I don't actually think that I want to do 1.2 this time, just given it's been like 45 minutes.
Yeah.
But I am trying to see. It was the Imposter's Handbook that we wound up doing that. So.
Oh yeah.
New VS Code really quick, and open imposters. Hopefully because I did a handful of sorts, and so heap sort is one. Data structures, algorithms. Yeah, so yeah. I'll go and drop this thing in, and yeah, you can see. So here's a case where I went and did like a sort where you have to give it a mutable vector of some sort. I mean, it doesn't have to necessarily be a vector. In this case, any mutable slice will do the job, so doesn't matter too much as long as the T is orderable, so it's got a level of equality and can get compared. But
Okay.
what you'd wind up doing is went and called on. It's been a while since I've taken a look at the thing, but you go and you do take the data structure as a mutable structure, and at that point you do go and change it in place. Like it's got everywhere it's at, it does get sorted in place, and so
Cool.
and it is a divide and conquer style, so it's not going to be a n squared, but rather
Right. Like divide and conquer is generally in log n or something with a log.
Right. Yeah, because you're splitting up not the work kind of thing. So yeah, that'd be good to go and review. But I guess here's my quick check use case. So pretty much I got a random random vector of numbers, and made a copy so I could go and sort it, and compared it to the heap sort version. And so quick check was just to assert that my heap sorted one versus my built-in Rust sort are the same. And so it would go and runs this a whole bunch of times with various inputs, and then if it finds a failure, it tries to narrow it down too. So like if you fail on like empty ones or ones that have duplicates or something like that, like it can boil it down to that. Like that's kind of the other cool part of it.
Huh.
Smart people thought of that.
Yeah.
But I think that will be good for this time. I mean, next time we can go over and do cracking the coding interview 1-2, where if we determine like one is a permutation of the other, so you can kind of think on approaches of that.
Is that just to see if it's an anagram? Permutation just means like switching the order around.
right? I mean, and that's
Yeah. And I would also think it'd be interesting to do that where you disregard white space,
hmm
because that's how anagrams work.
right. Yeah, that'd be interesting for us to go and try out. So next time we can definitely give that a shot and see what we can come up with, maybe with a couple of different implementations. So no exact schedule on
Okay.
it, but we'll make it happen. So that is it for now.
I'll see you next time.
All right, later, Adam.
Later.